Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we are at Matchless Gifts, 22nd Avenue, and we've changed position a little bit in order to give you all a little bit of a different experience of the. Sorry, I'm moving the thing around a little bit because we've shifted. Different experience of what it looks like. This is a beautiful painting on one of the side walls. You were saying about the painting?
Yes, it's the original painting from the time it was pointed out by, I don't remember.
One senior devotee.
Yeah, that used to live here. I mean, he used to sleep on the floor here. He's married now, and his wife painted some of these as well with Jadurani. So he was pointing out that this is original from the time of Prabhupada, meaning.
Yeah, it's a powerful, powerful place. And today is also New Year's Eve. Haribo. So for all of you, though, by the time you're viewing this, it will be well into, not well, but a couple of days
Friday.
into the new year. So we'd like to wish you all a happy 2025, and may it be a spiritually prosperous, inspiring, and uplifting year for you. Okay, so we're going to read from the Bhagavatam. And just to let you know that we started, we did this already once.
This is take two.
This is take two. And we read all the way through, did close to 20 minutes, and then we were packing up and we realized that the mics were all switched off. And that is the will of providence, because Krishna obviously wants us to read again, read some more, get something else out of it, and be here with Prabhupada and Matchless Gifts.
I guess.
So, yeah, exactly. Okay, so, where are we reading from?
We are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 22, Text 56.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
That was proper in sync. Alright, 56.
Put it in the sink, mate.
Maharaj Prithu became as celebrated a king as Soma Raja, the king of the moon. He was also powerful and exacting, just like the sun god, who distributes heat and light and at the same time exacts all the planetary waters. Prabhupada. In this verse, Maharaj Prithu is compared to the kings of the moon and sun. And the king of the moon and the king of the sun serve as examples of how the Lord desires the universe to be ruled. The sun distributes heat and light, and at the same time exacts water from all planets. The moon is very pleasing at night, and when one becomes fatigued after a day's labor in the sun, he can enjoy the moonshine. Like the sun god...
That's moonshine, like coming from the moon, like not moonshine, like coming from some hillbillies, you know what I'm saying?
The sun god, Prithu Maharaj distributed his heat and light to give protection to his kingdom. For without heat and light, no one can exist. And so true. Similarly, Prithu Maharaj exacted taxes and gave such strong orders to the citizens and government that no one had the power to disobey him. On the other hand, he pleased everyone, just like the moonshine. Maybe they had moonshine, that's why they were happy.
Well, moonshine. Soma Ras.
Both the sun and the moon have particular influences by which they maintain order in the universe, and modern scientists and philosophers should become familiar with the Supreme Lord's perfect plan for universal maintenance. I think one thing that stands out is, we said it in the previous reading, but like Prabhupada is so, as a matter of fact, saying, yeah, there's a king in the moon, someone manages the moon. Oh, look at my hair. And then there's someone that manages the sun. You know, there's a king there. And like, just, yeah, matter of fact. And here you got people that are like, well, they kind of think they're going to the moon, and then they look at the sun and then they try to figure out what it is. And Prabhupada just matter of fact letting us know that Yeah, there's a king there. And obviously, if there's a king there, there's a kingdom and there's people, and then this is what they do, and that, you know. It's such advanced knowledge that, and as Prabhupada says, that we use our puny, he uses the word puny minds to try and figure these things out, and because you can't, then you dismiss it. It's obviously myth, it's obviously sentiment, and the village people, they don't understand nothing, you know. It's interesting. But you've made a point before, which I think is a good piece of side point to make, about people that go crazy in the moon.
People that go crazy in the moon? No, it's just the moon has different effects. My point...
No, that word, lunar.
Lunatic.
Yeah. Let me explain it.
So lunatic comes from the word lunar, which has to do with the moon, because the moon has effects. It pulls and pushes, and people in the full moon, you know, that's when people turn into werewolves, and people, like, you know, act all crazy and stuff.
Yeah, that's the point. Is the word lunatic comes from the word lunar. Interesting, isn't it? All right.
But interesting point with this is that there's diversity in the leadership and maintenance of the material energy. The sun has a certain way of doing things, and the moon has a certain way of doing things. Surya Bhagavan and Chandra Bhagavan, they have certain ways of conducting themselves. One is soothing rays and cooling rays and refreshing rays, and the other is exacting waters and is taxing on people, and is, you know, it's heavy, beating down on us, the sun. So like that, they both have their different methods and approach to leadership and management. And it's not that one is right and the other is wrong, but they're both required. So.
All right, text 57.
Maharaj Prithu was so strong and powerful that no one could disobey his orders, any more than one could conquer fire itself. He was so strong that he was compared to Indra, the king of heaven, whose power is insuperable. Insuperable. On the other hand, Maharaj Prithu was also as tolerant as the earth, and in fulfilling various desires of human society, he was like heaven itself. Purport. It is the duty of a king to give protection to the citizens and to fulfill their desires. At the same time, the citizens must obey the laws of the state. Maharaj Prithu maintained all the standards of good government, and he was so invincible that no one could disobey his orders any more than a person could stop heat and light emanating from a fire. He was so strong and powerful that he was compared to the king of heaven, Indra. In this age, modern scientists have been experimenting with nuclear weapons. And in a former age, they used to release Brahmastras. But all these Brahmastras and nuclear weapons are insignificant compared to the thunderbolt of King Indra. When Indra releases a thunderbolt, even the biggest hills and mountains crack. On the other hand, Maharaj Prithu was as tolerant as the earth itself, and he and he fulfilled all the desires of his citizens, just like torrents of rain from the sky. Without rainfall, it is not possible to fulfill one's various desires on this planet. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 3.14, Parjanyad Anasambhava. Food grains are produced only because rain falls from the sky. And without grains, no one on the earth can be satisfied. Consequently, an unlimited distribution of mercy is compared to the water falling from the clouds. Maharaj Prithu distributed his mercy incessantly, much like rainfall. In other words, Maharaj Prithu was softer than a rose flower and harder than a thunderbolt. In this way, he ruled over his kingdom. So interesting comparison here. Indra, king of heaven. These personalities are just understood and known to be real and be there and be present. And even persons are having interactions with them. So it's quite powerful. And this point at the end about being as hard as a thunderbolt and soft as a rose, Prabhupada was very much like that. And it's sort of like the amalgamation of the sun and the moon and their techniques, that you have the harsh and you have the soft coming together in one personality. So Prabhupada, it was described, was as hard as a thunderbolt but as soft as a rose. So like that, yeah. A couple of thoughts.
Text 58. Just as rainfall satisfies everyone's desires, Maharaj Prithu used to satisfy everyone. He was like the sea in that no one could understand his depths. And he was like Meru, the king of hills, in the fixity of his purpose.
Fixity.
Purport. Maharaj Prithu used to distribute his mercy to suffering humanity, and it was like rainfall after excessive heat. The ocean is wide and expansive, and it is very difficult to measure its length and breadth. Similarly, Prithu Maharaj was so deep and grave that no one could fathom his purposes. The hill known as Meru is fixed in the universe as a universal pivot, and no one can move it an inch from its from its position. Similarly, no one could ever dissuade Maharaj Prithu when he was determined. This laptop drives me crazy.
Because it's my laptop and I haven't set it.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It's beautiful. Different persons, like the sun and like the moon. You like the moonshine.
Lunatic.
Lunatic. Yeah, there we go. Now we're talking. Now it's making sense.
Yes. Anyway.
That's my case. Yeah, I mean, one could say that he's like stubborn, you know, but actually, it's not that he's stubborn. And you were mentioning how your father was fix. What's that word? Fixity. You know,
Fixity.
There's a fixed person, and your life, creating stability. We need that in our life. We need leadership that gives shelter, that gives structure, that gives stability, foundation.
Yeah. That's why I think places where temples or like that, where, I'm just using temples as an example, but where people stick it out and stay and create, that sense of shelter, and it's not changing every 5 minutes and this and that, and places grow, you know. Anyway, text 59.
Text 59. Maharaj Prithu's intelligence and education were exactly like that of Jamaraj, the superintendent of death. His opulence was comparable to the Himalayan mountains, where all valuable jewels and metals are stocked. He possessed great riches like Kuvera, the treasurer of the heavenly planets, and no one could reveal his secrets, for they were like the demigod Varunas. So comparing him to all these majestic personalities. Purport. Jamaraj or Dharmaraj, as the superintendent of death, has to judge the criminal living entities who have committed sinful activities throughout their lives. Consequently, Yamaraj is expected to be the most expert in judicial matters. Prithu Maharaj was also highly learned and exceedingly exact in delivering his judgment upon the citizens. No one could excel him in opulence anymore. Maybe you could move it a little bit more and then I wouldn't be able to read it. Then estimate the stock of minerals and jewels in the Himalayan mountains. Therefore, he is compared to Kuvera, the treasurer of the heavenly planets. Nor could anyone discover the secrets of his life any more than learn the secrets of Varuna, the demigod presiding over the water, the night, and the western sky. Varuna is omniscient, and since he punishes sins, he is prayed to for forgiveness. He is also the sender of disease and is often associated with Mitra and Indra. So as I was mentioning, these personalities, not being mythological, but being personalities that are understood to be presiding over certain things. And we have this kind of mood of Yamaraj is there, and Varuna and Kuvera, and people go to them and pray for forgiveness. Oh no, I must have done something like this. And you told a really nice story about your childhood.
I was just sharing that when we were growing up, we were worshipping, Ram, Sita, Hare Krishna, but also demigods, everyone. And then, when I got chicken pox, and it was, someone wasn't happy in the higher realms because of that. And then my parents don't drive, so from Tooting, if you know Tooting,
South London,
walk to Balam, there's a Radha Krishna temple, and but I didn't walk, I'm young, and I had chicken pox, so he flung me over his shoulder. I do remember that, actually. It's fading, but I remember it like a fireman's lift, though, over his shoulder, and walked me there and put me on the floor in front of the altar, Radha Shamsundar, to save me, to help me. Because, it's interesting that while they did worship, they didn't worship them over and above Sita Ram, but they were, certain days were acknowledged and stuff, so it's interesting. I've lost my chain of thought now. Yeah,
it's difficult when you go back over it again. Of course, it's ever fresh, but you feel like certain things came out spontaneously and you want to kind of repeat them. And so, but anyway, we're going to stop here. We're almost finished this chapter, so we'll finish it tomorrow. And we request you, as you're moving into the new year, please stay with us, subscribe, like,
comment and share.
And continue to read the Bhagavatam, continue to absorb yourselves in spirituality and progressive Krishna consciousness. And we look forward to spending next year with you all again. And I think it's been 4 years now, so 4 years will be completed, I think, in April or May, something like that, when we started. And then we look forward to seeing you all throughout 2025. Hare Krishna. Happy New Year. Thank you.